We've got a brand new top 10 chart today. It's not of records or films or even television programmes, but home computer video games. Well, the chart has been compiled by the National Opinion Poll for the Daily Mirror and Home Computer and Video Game magazine. And they're going to publish the results next week. But here on Saturday Superstore, with a special preview of the new chart, is this week's top 10 video games.
At number 10, The Revenge of the Mutant Camels. At number 9, Mr. Wimpy. And one place above Mr. Wimpy at number 8, Pole Position. At 7 this week, The Hobbit. And at number 6, the Manic Miner Spectrum version. At 5, it's Fighter Pilot. And Hunchback is this week's number 4. Number 3, it's Ant Attack. And the similarly titled Attic Attack at number 2. And this week's number 1 is the Commodore version of Manic Miner.
I've got the number 1 game with me here, and as anyone who plays computer games will know, they come on an ordinary cassette like this. So this is the software. Well, today we'll be doing a special Superstore software checkout to put the so-called top 10 games to the test. Well, where better to come to do it than the centre of London's hi-fi and electronic shops, Tottenham Court Road. But now, a bit of a confession to make. As yet, I know very little about computer games, so I need 3 ready and able and willing volunteers. Here they are.
Dominic, Duncan, Cassie.
Well, Dominic, Duncan and Cassie, let's get inside and get the coordinates for the computers, OK? There you are. I thought I'd lost you. Well, here we are inside at our micro point, and to be absolutely fair, when we play the various games, we're going to be using the same computer for each of our volunteers. And then when we've played each game, we're going to give each game marks out of 10 in various categories, like playability, how much fun the game is, whether it's good value for money, the length of time it takes to set the game up, and so on. The first game we're going to play is Manic Miner. You remember that was number 1 on our chart. Manic Miner is all about a little miner who stumbles down a forgotten old mine, and in order to get to all the goodies at the bottom, he has to pick up various golden keys on the way. Duncan, what do you think of Manic Miner?
I think it's good, but it makes too much noise and the colours are too bright.
What about the game itself, though? Did
Well-
you find it too difficult?
Well, I can only do 1 sheet. It could be a little shorter, but other than that, it's really good.
What about you, Dominic?
I think it's got very good graphics, especially because it's got 20 sheets. Each one's got a different picture and it's got different movements to everything you press. So it's an extremely complicated program. And it's good fun.
OK, Cassie, what do you think of it so far?
I found it a bit difficult, really.
What did you think of the graphics?
I thought they were quite interesting, but I didn't like the colours much.
What about the noise?
Oh no, I wouldn't be able to stand the noise for much longer than about 10 minutes.
So some very good reactions from our volunteers for game number 1, Manic Miner. Now we move on to our second game, also number 2 in the charts. That's Attic Attack, or Attic Attack. I think it's Attic Attack. And the idea is that you play the part of a character like a serf or a knight, and you have to get out of the evil, haunted castle as quickly as you can, getting past all the various obstacles in your way.
I thought it was really interesting. I liked all the colours and the graphics and everything. It's basically the 2 we've done so far.
The game's really good. It doesn't get too long. The best bits I like is when Frankenstein and Dracula come and drain your blood. And the turkey runs out, so and you die. It's really good.
That's really good, yeah, you die.
Well, you can get killed about 3 times, I think, and there's loads of different rooms.
If you found new rooms all the time, it could last forever.
Perish the thought, you'd be at it in years to come. Well, an even better reaction for Attic Attack, our second game and number 2 in the charts. Well, now we move on to an attack of another sort for our third game, and this time it's Ant Attack. And this should be very interesting because its graphic is 3-dimensional, and you have to choose whether you're going to rescue a girl or a boy. You have to get them out of the walled city of Antesher as quickly as you can, not being attacked by the ants. How do you think that Ant Attack compares with Attic Attack?
I didn't think it was as good, actually. It completely confused me. I didn't know what I was doing. Couldn't control it very well.
It is hard to control, and it isn't as good as Attic Attack. But it is quite good, and the graphics are good because they're 3D.
Well, I prefer a bit of colour anyway, so I thought it was a bit boring.
I thought it was a bit better than Attic Attack because it moved things around. Where Attic Attack, it only moves the keys around. It told you what to do and said, "You're silly, you blew yourself up and things." Yeah. It said, "Have another go," and I said, "Oh, thanks."
As well as looking at the top 3 computer games, we thought it would be only fair to have a look at one of the brand new releases. And the game we've got set up at the moment is called Bear Bother, and a very rough explanation of what the game entails is that the little bear has just bought a brand new motor car and he has to get the batteries on which it runs out of the house by climbing up and down the ladders. But on the way, he can be a bit bothered.
It's a bit boring. They could make it not so large. It's got too many levels. There was 3 sort of lines where there could be 2 instead.
The graphics were nice and bright, but yeah, it was too large, I thought.
There were lots of things chasing you, and the only thing you had to do was push down things, and the way you kept on getting killed, it was too hard. You couldn't get a hang of it or anything because there's so many things coming after you. There's 4 things. There's 3 bears and there's 1 dragon, and you're just one person. They go all over the place.
You're absolutely bothered. How long do you think you could actually spend sitting in front of a computer game trying to master it?
Well, depends which game it was. With that game, I think I'd get bored with it.
How about value for money? Would you spend your pocket money?
No, I'd buy better games.
Right, we've had your comments. Very briefly, I'd like to know which game you like best. Cassie?
Attic Attack.
Dominic?
Ant Attack.
Attic Attack.
Attic Attack. Right, now, I've got all the marks down here, which you've secretly given me. Before we report back to Superstore for our accurate computer checkout, would you like to add them up on the computer for me? Thanks, Dominic. And Dominic got busy with the adding up, and he's brought the checkout scoreboard back to Superstore with him, and we can have a look at our compilation of all the marks now. Well, there's no surprise that at the bottom of the checkout chart, are you all right with that, Dominic? Can you hold that up a bit, darling? That's it. We have Bear Bother, and that's got low marks in every category and was the only game that the players didn't want to buy. Now, all the games cost around £6. Number 3 is Ant Attack, which has got good marks for setting up and getting started, but low marks for the 3D graphics. And our panel gave it low marks also because it was a bit tricky to control. Now, in second place comes Manic Miner, which incidentally is the number 1 position on the National Opinion Poll chart, but we didn't agree with them, which everybody found much too noisy. And at the top of the chart is Attic Attack, which had high marks for graphics, playability, and was the game that the players said would last forever. Well, the first brand new video games top 30 will be published in the Daily Mirror next Saturday and in Computer and Video Games Monthly magazine from March the 16th. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah.
Did you? And you still think, having seen the film again now, that you choose Attic Attack as the number 1 game?
I thought that Ant Attack was my number 1 game, but
Your personal favourite, but the compilation you agree with, do you?
Yeah.
Very good, and thank you very much, and thanks to Cassie, who also came along to help with the checkout panel.